Today, we take a break from AKs and we talk military surplus, a rifle that I think is probably one of the coolest, used to be pretty slept on, but now the secret's out on this thing, but one of the coolest, easiest to own in this country, certainly, bolt-action military surplus rifles that exists. And I want to talk about why it's so cool and why this gun has some features that most surplus guns do not have without crazy gunsmithing and a whole bunch else. So let's talk about this. This is the Spanish FR8, better known as the CETME. This rifle would have started its life as a Spanish large ring Mauser with much more wood and a much longer barrel, but it's been heavily modified in Spain for a very specific reason. The reason this gun exists is because of a battle rifle known as the CETME-C. Most of us would see a picture of this and go, oh, it's like an HK91 to G3, and you would be correct. It's basically the same exact gun. So after World War II, a bunch of Germans had actually fled to Spain, and some of them were gun designers, and in Spain they actually designed the CETME-C, which was later adopted as the G3 in Germany, but stayed in Spain as the CETME-C, and it was to be their new battle rifle, the new standard issue gun. And what's very interesting about that is Spain didn't join NATO until the early 80s. So at that time, for them to adopt 7.62x51, they actually adopted it even before NATO standardized on it. So this is actually a very early adopter of 7.62x51. And that gets into the gun. Other than being rechambered 7.62x51, which is a big deal being in America, the ammo is always going to be there. And to me, the biggest thing that makes that special is the price of admission to shoot this thing. If you think of most Milsurps, Japanese stuff, English stuff, French stuff, those are all very rare calibers, very expensive calibers to buy that aren't really made that much anymore. This gun, no longer being in 7mm, now is much cheaper to shoot, and you have a big array of ammo that you can choose. And because it's a large ring FR8 Mauser, you can actually run 308, which is a higher pressure round. The FR7s, there are very few of those, but they're small ring Mausers. Those supposedly can't handle the pressure. So this is not picky when it comes to ammo, and in America, that's pretty damn cool. You can tell that it is a little bit shorter than it would have had originally been with its 7mm barrel by like 2 or 3 inches. A little bit shorter overall, and the stock has been cut back dramatically right about to here and has been capped off. So it kind of gives it that really cool, small kind of, it reminds me of like the British Enfield, like the Jungle Carbine, the shortened version with like the bubbled up stock, but it was factory. Kind of gives me those vibes. So shorter barrel, much smaller, shorter stock. You see some rings here. This was set up to take rifle grenades, so if you do have the factory muzzle device, we do not, you can take CETME-C bayonets and grenades. You also have the CETME-C sling loop. One of the biggest things was the iron sights. These iron sights are directly off of the CETME-C. Rear notch sight with peep apertures, 3 different styles, which we are going to test in this video, but the whole point was trainer rifle, so they wanted guys to get used to the CETME-C iron sights, so they literally put them on a bunch of these old Mausers and used them for training. And it also carries over to the front sight post. Has the same CETME-C hooded front sight post, which is really cool. There are almost no cool Milsurps that have this type of setup. Most Milsurps have a front sight post with a notch in the rear with elevation, kind of like an AK or like an SKS. This is very atypical. So if you're in America, you can buy this gun, not relatively cheap anymore, but for a decent price and shoot it very cheap. I think the cost of ammo offsets what these things sell for now, because the secret's out and they don't sell for that cheap anymore. So the ammo, big deal, right? Kind of a cool sporterized, factory sporterized gun, but the best thing about this, in my opinion, is the thread pitch that they put on these. At that time, they started to adopt the 15mm thread pitch. That is a very common German thread pitch that's used in a lot of HK guns. Why does that matter? Well, thread pitch is still used today, so there are a lot of muzzle devices made today to thread onto that. Not a lot of Milsurps out there are going to take modern muzzle devices without some crazy gunsmithing, so this gun had concentric threads, a very nice crown, and the bore, the hole in the barrel was concentric. It was very well done. I literally just put this dead air flash hider on, and it passed on a suppressor alignment check. So spoiler alert, it can take a suppressor. Doesn't have to be a dead air. It's really anything you want to put on there. But because of that thread pitch, there's a number of muzzle devices that will, bolt right on. and you can adapt to your favorite suppressor. So now you have a shorter overall Mauser, probably one of the shortest Mausers you can find. Very common, potent caliber that is probably one of the cheapest calibers to shoot out of Milsurp that you can suppress, that has a pretty cool peep sight setup. It's a pretty gnarly little gun. I like it a lot. And the final little Easter egg that this thing has is the ease of loading. Because it used to be 7mm, you can actually take 8mm stripper clips for 8mm Mauser. This clip will hold 5 .308 or 7.62 NATO rounds perfectly fine, and will actually feed into this gun as if these clips were made for it. So you can see your little feeding ears there. Holds it right in place. You can stuff it, you can even leave the clip in place and send it home, and it will send the clip out flying. Pretty stinking cool. Skimmed it. So the very first time I ever saw one of these, I saw a video from Mike Pappas at Dead Air. Most of you know of him. He had a video of him shooting his FR8 with a Sandman on it, and I thought that is a neat looking old gun that he must have like modified or bubbled up or something, but I thought it looked really cool. I'm like, Mike, really clean job on that thing. He's like, no, brother, that's factory, dude. I was like, get out of town. Like, I just thought it was the coolest thing. Did some research on it, found out, oh, it's actually a really interesting gun. Ended up finding one at Collector's Firearms like 6 years ago, and I want to say I paid like $650 for it, and at the time I thought, man, it's kind of expensive. Like, I didn't think I'd be buying a Milsurp gun anytime soon, and it seems like a lot of money, but thank God I did, because they've absolutely blown up in value. These things are not secrets anymore. They've been around quite a long time. I want to say they were surplused into this country in the 80s and early 90s. So they've been around for a while. Ever since I first had it, all I've really done is shoot a few competitions with it, shot it out to maybe 100 yards, done a lot of like VTAC barricades, like literally done a lot of up close stuff with this gun. Never had a chance to take it out to distance. So clearly you've seen in this video that this gun is a bucket of fun up close. We did a lot of like 50-yard shooting today, but I finally had the opportunity with the help of Jim, a really good buddy of mine who spotted for me, to take this out to 500 yards. So I want to show you that now. I've never been able to. And these iron sights are not the best, but it was actually a pretty good time, so check this out. 100.
Low.
How was windage?
Maybe a little left.
First time taking this thing out to distance.
Hit.
Ooh.
Very far right edge, though.
Sounded awesome. All right, let's get one more hit on it.
Hit.
Woo! Damn. All right, let me know when you're on 200. We're gonna shoot the man-sized target in the middle. All right, big target on the right, 200.
Hit.
Woo!
Low right. Hit.
All right, I'll try to hit it again. That trigger is dog poop.
Low right. Low right.
That was low right.
Low center.
Nice. All right, let me know when you're at 300. Using my first aperture, I'm gonna aim dead on.
That's actually a little high.
Okay, like how high?
That's right over the right shoulder.
Okay, I'll aim at the base with my aperture.
That was just under and right. Left. Center left. Hit.
Woo! So I'm aiming almost dead center and I'm pulling a little bit to the right. Even with this wind, I had to pull a little bit right.
Yeah, and you hit on the right side. That wind is stiff. You want to go 4?
Let me try to get one more at 3.
Over the right shoulder.
A little too far right.
Over the left shoulder.
Wow, I was actually aiming dead center. This gun does pull left naturally.
Right.
Oh, all right, we're gonna move to 4 so we don't run out of ammo. We'll come back for 3. I'm gonna hold dead on. I'm gonna pull right slightly because I've been hitting left.
Just way to the right.
Right. Let's go back to aiming dead on.
That's a little low and left. I mean low and right. I didn't see where that one went. That's a hit.
Woo! I was aiming at his right shoulder.
You got his right shoulder. the right shoulder.
3 clips left. We're gonna make it to 5. That's happening. All right, I'm gonna go back to that right shoulder.
Just over the right shoulder. Just right the right shoulder. Hit.
Woo! All right, let's go to 5, baby. Man, I can barely see that little guy. Here we go. I'm gonna hold over his left shoulder.
Low.
That wasn't a hit?
That might have been, actually.
I could have swore I heard a hit.
I didn't hear the hit, but it's a hit.
All right,
I see the spot.
let's try it again. I know I heard a hit. Cannot believe we got a first round 500-yard hit.
That was low. Went in the dirt.
That was low?
Yeah. Just right.
Ooh. Can's starting to get hot. I can see the mirage coming off the can. That was just right, huh?
Just right.
Elevation was okay?
Yep. Just left. Elevation was not bad.
We're gonna get this hit.
Hit.
Yes! All right, we have to go back and get 1 hit on 3. Okay, I don't remember what the hold was, so I'll just kind of aim a little to left, dead hold.
Hit.
Woo! Those were some of the most satisfying hits I've ever made. I missed a lot, yeah, but when it did hit, I could hear it so well. That 308 just freaking slams that target, man. And doing it with this little shorty Mauser carbine was pretty badass on iron sights. With the can, there were some other dudes up there shooting long range, and like everyone like stopped and just like watched what I was doing with this thing, because it is a very interesting gun and offers a super unique, interesting shooting experience, which is why I like AKs. It's a different shooting experience. This is pretty badass. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed this video, something a little different. What kind of Milsurps do you guys like? Something we don't talk about on this channel much. I really would like getting into old bolt actions a little bit more, something like this. It's just cool. And is this something that you would get into if you don't like Milsurps? 7.62x51, you can suppress it. For an American, I think that's all most of us would need to hear to pick one of these up. All right, well, appreciate you watching. See you next time.